And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special edition of the Fans of Power podcast. I'm Tyler Baker, and with me, like every single week, is the Rotten Amato, Don Amato, Joe Amato, and Nasty Nate Kennedy. Gentlemen,
Hello.
are we ready to...
Hello. Yeah,
hello.
Enter into the special wing in Tyler's Movie Hall of Fame.
Yes. Yeah, it is above and beyond Predator and Jaws, Batman 89, Ghostbusters, Rambo 2, Conan, Aliens, Willow, Wizard of Oz, Point Break, so on and so on. Karate Kid, Master of the Universe is above and beyond everything. So, I would not opposed if we go back and do another commentary like 2 years from now or something like that for this film. I was like, why the hell not? You know. But,
well, why not celebrate it? What would be fun about it is for those who are watching us live, and then even people who are listening later, it's something that I always think would be great for those who maybe have not watched it since their childhood. Because as we know, there's still a lot of people who have always been on the fence about this movie and said, "I'm never going to watch it again. I didn't really enjoy it." And I'd hope they'd give it a chance. Maybe they'd learn to appreciate it and see it as how great it really was, for especially how the limitations they had back then. But also for those who love the movie, like we do, just have fun, three guys sitting around talking, doing commentating. It's like we're all being around each other. You know what I mean? It's like we're kind of all sitting around in the theater, and even the fans that are listening to the chat. We're going to be like we're all together just enjoying a good movie together.
But look at it as like a private screening because we don't like pricks talking during the movie. But this is if like we had rented out a room and waited out all the jerk offs who just like to be smart asses back to the screen or pull out the cell phone. Oh, look, my flashlight came on by accident. Who's that guy with the skull face? The kind of shit me and Nathan would run into.
Right.
So that will not be here, guys. But we're going to get this thing up and running because it's going to be a little bit longer than our usual commentary. So if you guys are ready.
The movie's only an hour and 47 minutes. So
yeah.
It'll come close to a regular episode. And I want to stress, link down below. It's probably mostly for our United States viewers that can click on that and watch. I don't know how. I've already had some issues with someone saying it's blocked in their country, so you can look for the 10 parts. It's on Hulu as well, and if you got your DVD, feel free to, or Blu-ray, pop that in as well.
Just be a slight delay because they have an MGM intro on the one that's on YouTube, which is like a 10-second addition to if you were to watch it on Blu-ray, DVD, or on Hulu. You just open up with the Canon logo. So just to be a slight time difference. So that's why I'm using this one here because I figured Joe might be behind if because Nathan, are you using YouTube or DVD?
Yeah, I'm using the link that we have down below.
All right, so we're all in the same boat then. So Joe, we all adapted to you there, buddy. So
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to head back to 87?
Yep. Give us the cue when you're ready.
All right. Hope everyone's ready, is pumped and ready, and their nipples as hard as mine right now. So 3, 2, 1, action.
It's kind of weird seeing this MGM thing at the beginning, honestly.
Yeah, and even though they did release a bunch of Canon films back in the 80s, like it's I wish it was the old Warner Brothers home video logo with like the big booming noise that would come up when the shield would come up, and of course the classic Canon. And this music was not attached to a lot of Canon films, so I used to always associate this intro with He-Man only.
I used to do that with New Line Cinema. When New Line Cinema, anytime that logo came up, I thought, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was always weird with New Line that they would do their logo twice. Like they would have it at the beginning and then do it again. Sometimes, especially later on, it sort of played off of what movie was about to happen, but that always sticks out to me too.
I always love this win. Boom! Here we are. Why don't we get like a matte painting poster of Grayskull here? Of all the stuff that like, why isn't nobody giving us a poster of this Grayskull?
That'd be a great poster. I'd agree.
Damn
that
right
would be really nice. Yeah, I remember my first. Of course, I seen this in the theaters. First seeing that Grayskull, and of course, eventually found out that was the Sorceress. I was like, boy, it looked a little weird. I was, of course, there's some people that didn't like some of the looks of things, but as I've watched this more and just seeing all the rich history of Masters and so many different incarnations from the comics to cartoons and everything, I appreciate it. I like seeing a different take on Castle Grayskull and a different look on the sorcerers. But yeah, I had my hand up. I was one of the people that was really kind of freaking out when I first seen this.
But that's something that I feel like people don't seem to like stop and wait. All the nuts and bolts are here, even with Grayskull. Like, it looks different than Filmation, but it's a castle. It's a castle with a skull in the front of it. I mean, I don't feel like they tried to change the dynamics or the visual of it that much. So that's why I just look at people so weird to this day when they say, that's not Beastman, that's not He-Man, that's not Skeletor. I'm like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I think it is because so many things have been, some were pretty consistent back then with, how they'd always depict something, but then others were so different to where, you're right, I mean, I did freak out when I first seen it, learned to like it, but then when you do think of even like the characters of, let's just say Beast Man. I mean, he had different looks from the comics, the cartoon, the toy, pretty much similar, but there were differences, and of course in this movie, another big difference, but I just flowed with it because, you could see so many different things of pretty much the same thing. That's why I'm hoping now when people are watching this, they could, like I said, just learn to kind of enjoy it and respect it a little more, at least knowing, like we said, the budget and stuff. But this was different, though. Just wondering what the hell was first going on, and there was Skeletor. It was different
I used
again.
to reenact this a lot. Anytime I have a broom in my hand, I would try to do the walk,
Oh, you did the
boom,
walk?
Walk, boom. I used to do that a lot in kitchens as a kid.
I could picture that. I could picture you doing that. I know sometimes we do our little, fantasizing and stuff.
Things from this film stuck with me. And I don't think I ever really discussed this movie from Nathan's childhood a whole lot because I watched it with him, at least parts of it when he had like his big ass big box TV back in the day, and he let me sample some of the film on there at the time. But I don't know if Nathan got to experience this movie that much as a kid.
It was definitely something that I didn't see in theaters. I may have probably honestly caught it on TV. It's not something I actively sought out and rented at the video store. But honestly, not much memory of it until I started hanging out with you and you started showing me parts of the movie. And you're like, you gotta love it, man. You're gonna love it. And for the longest time, I kind of resisted and gave Tyler hell about it.
Which is what Nathan's whole career was of our friendship, was to no, that sucks, and this is why it sucks, and I'm better than you.
But I have since come around to it. I am one of those people that watched it first. I'm like, but over repeat viewings, I have come around to its appeals.
You know what? Yeah, and definitely right when you seen Meg Foster as Evelyn. When I first seen her, I was hooked right when I first seen her. I was like, she does it. She has the look. She just had that look.
Oh, it's always in her eyes. Like Meg Foster, her eyes were always just. There's something about
hypnotic.
them. Yeah, yeah. Even when she played good guy characters in films, she always still just looked sort of evil to me, just because of her eyes.
And here's the holosphere, man. This is something I wish was adapted in all mythology after this film. I just feel like that's such an interesting idea that William Stout came up with of how the sorceress would contact the attorney if there was great danger or a warning of something. And that's an epic shot to introduce He-Man, staring down, oh, man, we're in some deep shit right now.
And you wondered how many of those holospheres could be out throughout, eternity.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a thing, though.
How far the look of that. I just took there's one in the center somewhere in eternity, and it's straight, the whole planet can see it. That's how.
I can see what you mean. Yeah, me, I always envisioned maybe there could be multiples, but either way, it's one hell of a way to reach the people and let everybody know you took over. And as much as some people were saying they wanted, a lot of the other characters that we grew up to be into the movie, yes, I can understand and respect that because I was the same kind of person back then. I wanted more of our characters. When I see new characters, I ate it up because it was just because when you got the toys, you never question it. Oh my God, Scareglow, Ninja, and all these new characters, you loved them. So when I was seeing these, these people that are He-Man are fighting off here, these type of warriors, when you eventually see Gwildor, I was like, I accepted them. I never questioned and said they don't belong in it. I was happy to see new stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I just there are hardcore fans that don't like this film, which I never could quite understand. But it's been awesome to meet people or know or be aware of people like Axel comes to mind because that's how I noticed his work, but was his appreciation for the film and his artwork, and so it's just been great to really over the years see appreciation. Yeah, you have someone less to come in and piss on it, thinking that they have there's no Orko in it, so my opinion's greater than yours kind of thing. But it's been nice to see over the years more and more people are coming out and appreciate. And of course, when some reference to this film comes up, people always light up, whether it's Gwildor, a He-Man sword, or a movie Skeletor, or I mean, it's just cool that people get excited to see small nods to it in various forms of media. And
what do you remember, Tyler or Nathan, when you first seen Gwildor? What were your initial first thoughts of when you seen him?
I understood that he was like the Orko replacement, and I didn't really think too much other than that because I love the character. I thought it was a wonderful character, so I was like, I'm hooked. I'm in.
It didn't bother me at all. I'm just like, there was no, in my tiny brain, there was no distinction of like, oh, this is messing up. I just took it for what it was, really.
I did this, honestly. Yeah, and I did the same. I mean, when I seen Gwildor, I never thought, oh, this was supposed to be Orko, or where is Orko? I just was saying this is a new character. I mean, it wasn't until years later. I mean, I know some people said, oh, well, maybe they didn't have the budget to do an Orko, so this character was created. Back then, I didn't know. I'm just watching the stuff as it was, and I liked it. I like seeing a new little layer. Anything that was different was just something that really caught my eye.
I made it, and plus, as a kid, I was fascinated by his workshop as a kid. Like the shot here after when he locks everything up to see the gadgets and gizmos that Man-at-Arms and Teal looking. I was just fascinated by those things. Like it was just, what is that? What is that? All the sounds and noises and stuff like this right here that Man I was looking at. I was like, what is that thing?
Yeah,
it's so cool. I mean, just fun little things that they throw together.
So Tyler, you were probably about 4 when you watched this for the first time. Joe, I know you were encroaching on your 30s, but I'll pose this honestly, since you were older when this came out. I'll pose this question to you and anyone in the chat that may have been a little bit older at the time. Okay. In documentaries and things that we found out when this movie came out, we're kind of looking at the tail end of the popularity of Masters. Was that something that was kind of apparent in your mind at the time when this came out? Or did it all still just seem as big as it ever was?
Well, not at all. I mean, it was still just as big as it was, just like you said, as everything else was. And I was still expecting more and more. I mean, as the stories, as I told you, knowing of the catalogs with Hero and Eldor and other things that I thought was still coming, I didn't know there was an ending. I didn't know. And I never at any point, like when this movie came out and after it came out, thought, oh, the reason the toys and the cartoon ended was because of this movie. That's nothing that ever popped into my mind of thinking this movie was the failure of, Masters of the Universe in general. It just added to it. And I wanted more. Was I a big fan of this movie, though, when it first came out? No. There's parts I liked. There's parts I disliked. But I didn't just completely think it was an abomination. There was just a mixed review, as I had even with comics and episodes of the cartoon. So it was, again, just another chapter of Masters that this part you loved or hated, but it's grown on me more and more throughout the years. So yeah, when I watched this, when I first seen it back then, it was just another part of Masters history, and I thought more was coming.
There's a lot of fun things in this little bit of backstory that we're getting here on the Cosmic Key and how it got in Skeletor's hands. There's a lot of fun things in this movie that I feel like it would be really interesting to explore, like how Evil-Lyn approaches Gwildor as a seductive woman and tricks him into kind of showing her how it works and everything, and then she steals it from him. And
see that I feel like that would be a good move to like thwart Tyler, just to have someone in disguise as a hot woman. He'd be like, oh yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Here's the KFC recipe and Bush's baked beans. Just take it.
Take it all.
I remember Karg the first time I seen that.
I got nervous during the scene as a kid. Like, I'd always get kind of antsy when I knew Karg was about ready to bust in.
Yeah, not only antsy, but when I first seen him, I was like, what is that thing? I remember he just looked so frightening to me. He looked he looked disgusting, actually. It
kind of looked really like his gums are bleeding in this close-up shot. Like, I'm wondering if you guys think this in this, right?
Let me see.
At his teeth. Like, it just looks, like he's got blood in his mouth or something, which looks awesome. But I as a kid, I never knew he was anything bat related because you can't really see his ears in the movie at all. So
No.
I just took him as this creepy ass creature, and what it would have been like to have walked on this set. Like I wish we could have gotten Richard Sponder to join us to talk about his time as Pig Boy and being on the set and with the cast.
Oh, that must have been a dream. Oh God, could you imagine something like that? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Look how beautiful this is with the torches, and I mean, this is two sound stages in Hollywood. It was the biggest stage at the time, like the biggest set ever constructed at the time, and how deep those drop offs are, and how slick the floor had to have been.
You even wonder what happens to a lot of this stuff. Was it just completely destroyed, or are they stored somewhere in a Hollywood just gigantic, area?
Sets are built and torn down, So if anything survived, it's like the costumes and things like that, and the props, and that's really about it. I'm sure maybe someone has got the throne, maybe sitting somewhere like the hieroglyphics on there, or like the alphabet of the letters.
Just something, like even maybe one of those big statues, anything. But I might take flack from this, and I'm not doing this to be mean or anything, but there's just still one character that has never still grown on me with the design, and that was the sorceress. I know it was quite unique and different. Yeah, I know it's a very unique, different look. But even there, she just reminded me she looked kind of old. And then when she really looks old later, I remember it freaked me out. But I'm just, like I said, I'm not trying to get people upset with me. But that's the one design.
Upset, so you failed at that.
Yeah, every other. Yeah, I know.
Make sure to leave all of your hate comments down below.
But I still love the different look of Teela. Man at Arms still is pretty spot on. Besides having a different color scheme, but
Teela's hot. Teela is hot in this film.
Yeah. Chelsea Fields is beautiful. Yeah. Can you get more of a ballsy entrance than this with Bill Conti's music and bam? I'd get my left nut if I could hear him say that in the movie theater. Everything comes to he who waits. Oh my God. Those sons of bitches.
You don't have a left nut to give. You've already
I know, gotten
rid of it a long time ago.
I would fork it over right now if I could.
Yeah, there's gonna be people in the chats like, wait, does Tyler only have one testicle?
It's just an expression here, people.
No, he got kicked in the balls when he was in 3rd grade and had to get one removed.
Yeah.
So many little details too. You notice with Skeletor with his gloves, the little details on the fingers. They put a lot into the costume design. Just absolutely, it is beautiful. Especially
when you hear people on Electric Boogaloo shitting on the costume, I just feel like, well, first off, that's narrative. Like they have to dump on everything Canon did when really you look at all this stuff. I mean,
wait a second, Tyler. Somebody pissed on the design of Skeletor's costumes.
If you watch the documentary Electric Boogaloo, the Canon story, and they talk about the history, and they talk about He-Man for a little while in there, and they dump all over the Skeletor outfit. At least the people that are talked to in it. Even Dole. Yeah, it's but that's the narrative of that documentary is to, hey, aren't these like great cheesy films that didn't make any money, or they're lousy, or they're fun crap, and I mean they lump He-Man in. There's that was Superman 4, and Over the Top is the films that help lead it down the way to sinking the ship. But I don't like it, and it's not because I take it personal, but I just felt like they don't quite see how good this stuff is, and that's why I get so frustrated with casual fans who just throw in their 2 cents and say the same damn thing that everyone's saying to same damn year.
I think I feel like I kind of started that and ushered it many, many, many years ago.
You got an ass kicking coming to you when I see you.
Well, all right.
I'll record it. Put it up for everyone's pleasure.
Let's get back to Skeletor's look. Tyler, obviously, I feel like you know this movie backwards and forwards. Probably most of the trivia. Do you know how long it took for them to sort of get him into the entire getup?
I know Gwildor's was quite extensive. Beastman's was pretty extensive. I think most of them. I mean, everybody. It was like multiple hours. I can't give you specifics because most of the time I've seen more on the rest of the cast, and there are some articles out there that I have yet to read because they're in magazines. I have yet to get a hold of, like Starlog and Cinefex and a couple of other movie behind the scenes articles that have been written. I'm sure it's out there, but most of them took many, many hours to get into makeup. And Pig Boy was thrown together pretty quick, which wasn't much. But William Stout said it was just a quick kind of throw together thing. But and if you guys a plug for some of our other ones, we've interviewed William Stout twice about this film, and Anthony DeLonge who played Blade. So if you watch this with us, you want some more behind the scenes footage on this, we got about maybe 4 hours of interviews with these guys about this film. So and we did it for free for your own entertainment and enjoyment.
Yeah, and they had a blast doing it with us. And those were just great interviews. And, speaking of Skeletor really quickly, I know a lot of people, initially kind of were put off a little bit with like kind of the prosthetic look, seeing the eyes, and thought it was off. But what's weird? I think that if it would have been anything else but that back then, let's say if it was just blackened eyes and it looked like a skull face.
I was going to say,
you can't convey the emotion. He conveys so much emotion with that look. And I think that was perfect. It was a perfect choice, actually.
Plus, an actor like Frank, like he, when he was excited, I mean, that works for you so much when you have an actor of his pedigree playing this character. Like, you need to let him act. You need to allow him to flex his muscles and really, bring out the best in the character. So to have anything else, I mean, it's when people want to knock it because it's clearly like a makeup mask put on his face. I'm like, who are you, Professor Highbrow? Like,
well, I mean, if you think about it though, someone of his caliber with his voice would be able to pull off if they did have the look of like
if
not
they did,
seeing his eyes.
To limit like the fact like Skeletor that we see in Filmation and various other places, you don't see Skeletor smile unless it's a deliberate animation.
Right,
added. But to have like Frank Langella's smile and the fangs in his mouth, like to see him relishing beating up He-Man later on in the film and stuff like that. I mean, it's handicapping Frank's performance.
Well, I'll ask you this then, since we are eventually going to get a new Master Universe film, when it comes to Skeletor, would you prefer it have that traditional Filmation look, especially with technology and stuff these days, or would you prefer them to kind of go and like sort of redesign him then? Because you're looking back at this in the way of like, I love it, whatever, but other people probably at the time, maybe older fans watching this when it came out are like, this is horseshit. Now, if this comes out today and it's not how Skeletor looks in Filmation, like, how are you going to feel about that then?
Well, if I could give a quick little honest opinion on that, and it's not just Filmation, because they might even want to say just as the figure looked, as he looked in the comics, or even NYP, to have a skull face with, just the blackness. The thing is, we know there was no way they could have pulled that off properly back then. It would have looked horrendous. Nowadays, with how they can do stuff with special effects and the computers and everything, I'm sure they could pull off something to where it could probably even, which you don't want to see all the time, but maybe to where around the eyes or the eye sockets of the skull, it might make more of a menacing look. The eyes glow red if he's really pissed, like before he says something or before he does something. So I think in a new movie, I would expect something to be a skull and not this prosthetic look. I mean, it's just my opinion, but I just know they couldn't have pulled it off back then. From what they did back then, bam, I think they did a perfect job. For nowadays, I don't think they should try that. I mean, it's my opinion, but Tyler, go ahead.
Honestly, I mean, I'm sure they'll do it in motion capture, but I would like to see the hood cloak a lot of the skull in shadow. Like you see part of like his mouth if he turns his head when he's talking, but most of it's covered in a bit of shadow, so it's not so bright, completely like bright out there. As a like motion capture thing, I would like it to be hidden in shadow to give him a little bit more menace to his look, that he's not so prominent out there. Even though with Frank, because it's the mask of the way it's done, it needs to be prominently out there.
Real quick, we need to screen cap the outside exterior shot of this restaurant, and someone needs to just like Photoshop Joe just like kind of hanging around the back of the restaurant.
There we go. Put me as a dumpster.
Yeah, I could definitely see Joe. Like Joe's like a regular at this joint. He's constantly coming in trying to pester Courtney Cox for a date, and that doesn't work. So he moves on to her friend over here. And
I have been craving hot dogs for like 3 weeks, and I just need to either like go to Sheetz or go to the grocery store and get. I need to make some hot dogs. God,
hey,
what are the opinions on Courtney Cox in this film?
I thought she was cute, but here's the thing: my brain, like back then, anytime like when I just seen the kids or the young people, like when they're talking, my brain would kind of shut down back then. It's like I didn't care. Really, I see it. I was like, I don't care.
Let's get back to He-Man and everybody.
Yeah, He-Man, because that's what you want. At least, that's what I wanted as a kid. I was like, more action, more action. I was like, oh, they're talking, yay! But you get some great moments, and now, of course, you understand what they're doing.
Yeah,
but,
seriously, someone photoshopped Joe in that very back where like that picnic table was in the back left corner. You can maybe even just put a dumpster back there too for added effect.
Hey, don't you guys think Nathan looks like Kevin here?
Oh, look at his hair. He does.
Yeah,
look at that
Nathan hair.
Wow. You already know what I'm going to do, Tyler. I'm going to screen cap something like this, and I'm going to put Nathan's face right in there. I think it's going to work perfect. I'm getting some ideas. That'll be for after
we need to get Nathan holding like a bucket of KFC, and Joe could Photoshop Robbie's ribs on there and get Nathan a leather jacket and a tie. It'll be great. And plus he's pissed off all the time like Kevin is in this movie too. So Nathan's got if we were to do like a fan film, we get Nathan to play Kevin.
Great.
It'd be great.
All right. I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, no, there is a dumpster right there on the right. Can someone Photoshop Joe just back there?
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Looking at the restaurant. Put Joe over there.
And then Gwildor beats him to it.
It was just weird watching I remember when I first see this because I was like, oh man, they're kind of in the open. It was weird seeing, oh my God, these characters are on Earth, which that's another big thing a lot of people kind of hated, but I thought it was cool. It's like, who wouldn't have loved to see your favorite heroes and villains? What if they came to Earth, or what if you could have even went there? So that part fascinated me to think, oh my God, they're going to see He-Man. He's real.
It works and look, and I've always I understand that, right? But with the world they're given, the fact that it's a limited budget and they can't show everything, I think it works that the Earth they're on, it's not like they're in the middle of LA. Here's Joe.
Nathan, don't do it.
Smacking his lips.
Yep.
That's
stealing food from people's cars.
While they're making out. They're busy.
Joe's at the drive-in stealing people's hot dogs and French fries.
Yeah, heavy breathing, just watching them while they're making out. There he is.
And I drink
barbecue sauce.
Oh man, he makes that look so good.
Yeah, and then
I drink barbecue.
Someone comes up and finds Joe in the and then he runs off. He doesn't offer to share. Joe just takes off with their food.
Yep, and I'm normally that person that wouldn't share.
I was like that good guy stick. Oh, hey, no, I was going to share all along. I'm a good guy.
Man, he was tearing into that chicken too, and then when she calls out why they put the meat on these white sticks, I was thinking, is everybody, because even Gwildor looks put off about this being meat. Man-at-Arms don't care. He knows it, but I was thinking, so what, are they supposed to all be vegan? It was just weird that they look so disgusted about
bought
meat.
It as a kid. As an adult, I just feel like they're from another galaxy, another universe. Who the hell knows what they eat for food?
Yeah, so I just want that Man-at-Arms.
They had, never think while you're hungry.
Yeah, Man-at-Arms didn't care, boy. He just tore into it. Everybody else looked disgusted about it.
He's like, boy.
For all we know, it's like space food. It could just be like paste that tastes like something.
But obviously, yes, I'm sure they have, different kinds of food that's probably looks good, but it works because they're on Earth.
It can I will admit though, this part right here is a little jarring to go from them kind of like
you would never
jokey thing to oh no, my parents are dead, huh?
But Nathan's like, this is a little jarring. Yeah, because we would never see Nathan consoling Emily like Kevin is right here. He's just like, get over it already.
Somewhere I better share this.
He's like, the Bruins lost. You just got to get over it, all right, Emily?
Hey, they won last night. Those big nose, those douchebags. But I mean, is this not at least a little bit jarring to go from them joking about all this meat to oh, hey, my parents are dead?
Well, I will say this moment gives us the Evil Ann moment when she pulls the whole Freddy Krueger thing.
Now, I mean, at least it leads to something, but it's still just sort of bam, okay.
Well, granted, too, you feel if you're going to throw them in here, you got to give them a little bit of a backstory.
I mean,
related. I mean, because if they're going to be tagging along for the ride, you need to at least have something on, as opposed to they just happen to walk out of Robbie's and boom, here they are, right part of the action. And
why is he wearing a tie with that? That doesn't.
I've seen that look before in 80s stuff before, where they're wearing kind of like a kind of a I'm from the streets look, but they're also wearing the tie and a button up shirt.
You know what? I'm gonna go to Goodwill and find an ugly ass shirt like that, and find a tie that doesn't match it at all, and a leather jacket, and I'll be ready to roll.
Oh yeah, you would be, and just walk around like a synthesizer in your hand. And say,
I remember having red Michael Jackson. I had the red zipper pants that Michael Jackson would wear in Thriller. I remember having those, and man, it just like would crush your nuts and just oh god, it was too tight.
Did you try to dance in them too?
I couldn't do that.
Confirmation for those of you. At one point, Joe did indeed wear pants.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, it was something that I couldn't wear too long. But.
Hey, that's kind of the origin. That's why he doesn't wear pants anymore. It's like, yeah, it's too much.
You know, I always wondered those symbols on that throne too, if they were actually trying to really have some kind of language that maybe they knew or wrote down. I always wondered about those symbols.
Oh no, Joe, I answered that question to William Stout. Did you not listen to anything that I asked in the interviews that we did?
Oh my god, isn't that terrible? What a mind I have.
Well, Tyler, go ahead and give us the scoop.
He just came up with all that on his own. You know, like everything that you see on Skeletor's throne. Those are like it's like the language of the Eternians. In Stout's mind, like that was something that he felt that's how they would write. It's a not really statements, but it's the language of Eternians written on the Sorcerer's throne. As for what the message is, he never told us what it is, but it was just to kind of give it extra texture to the ambiance of Grayskull, so to speak. But I think it's in the first interview we did with him. I recommend you go back and listen to it, Joe, before you make another ass.
Yeah, my God. Jesus, I do that quite a bit. Seems like that's a lot. He's trying to figure out this musical device, the old cosmic key.
That's something too. Like I really wish Super 7 or somebody would release an adult-sized prop of the cosmic key that would play the tune. That now that's something I will pay out the ass pre-order.
Yeah, I bet you that'd be expensive.
Get a life-size cosmic key.
Now, would you also want it to move like that as well, or are you good with it just all being stationary?
I'd love
stationary is fine. And here we are, people. If you're listening,
Snake Mountain.
This is Snake Mountain. I don't care what anybody else in the community says or what kind of bullshit they fed you. This is Snake Mountain's only time in the film. It is confirmed.
Yep. William Stout did confirm
articles you see.
And Joe remembered.
Yes, Joe did remember that.
I remember that, yes. Because William Stout confirmed it because it was a question that, well, I don't think he was ever asked. And Tyler with his he was catching the details, like how you seen that like little Havoc staff image that was already, oh wait, I got to see the intros.
Well, yes. God, this was my favorite moments as a kid, was watching it.
I love Sauron.
Oh, scary as hell. But see it's the color scheme. The color scheme of this clearly fits evil. It doesn't fit with Grayskull's look, and that's what I was trying to address. And Val, this was on your podcast, Rose Gold. I sent this question in, and Emiliano shot me down. So when I was vindicated, by finding out that this was Snake Mountain, I was just like, "Eat it, Emiliano! You hear me?"
Well, and let me say some quick side thing here. I mean, I'd love to see all the new characters. We've seen like three of them right there, Beastman with a different design. But I remember being so pissed as a kid, thinking, "Where is my Karg action figure?" Because we got Blade, Saurod, we got Gwildor, and I was convinced we were getting Karg, and it always felt like such an empty slot back then in my vintage collection.
That's something I would like to get in the vintage line. I want Super 7 to skip one year without a Prince Adam variant and give us a Karg figure.
That would be nice. That would be cool. Yeah, to have the vintage. And we could get like some movie versions of them in vintage form as well. If we're getting we have classics versions coming, as you know, of things, but to have vintage versions of Karg, and then that Beastman. That Beastman is distinctive. I think he would look awesome as a figure too.
Yeah, that's what lends itself to more and more having that license or the rights to do movie figures, like to get Beastman, the troops, the Air Centurions, Man at Arms, and Tila. Oh boy. Time to get nervous.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, here goes. Oh, I just would get so pumped. Nervous and excited, just sitting quietly watching this as a kid. And just feeling like, oh my God.
I mean, if I were the bad guys too, I would come in here and wreck this prom set. Because prom's always had like the lamest themes. or any school dance. It's just like, what's it? Yeah, around the world fantasy. It's like, ugh, really? Titanic Dreams.
Yeah, we did that in 8th grade.
Ugh.
Yeah, and they played the hell out of Celine Dion.
Yeah, dude, you couldn't get away from that song back then.
No.
Poor coach.
Yeah, I felt terrible because when they grabbed me, you see his face just smeared in blood from Beastman beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Which was a nice touch to see just how scary and like, this is serious. This ain't kiddie play here, people.
That was just ketchup on his face. Like he like really enjoyed the hot dogs.
Nathan, I've got your number. Oh God, I used to get so nervous, because seeing her crying already, I was so scared for her as a kid, and watching Beastman just coming through and screaming and yelling, tearing out the place, and then car chasing after here in a moment.
Beastman looked freaky there.
Yeah, he did. And this shot of car coming up here saying, "I've got you, pretty." Like that was creepy to me as a kid.
That's good Pepsi product placement right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Tyler, any thoughts on that? You're a Coke guy.
I'm a Coke guy. I noticed the Burger King more as a kid, because Burger King shows up when Kevin and Julie's house later on. So I was like, they have chicken tenders? I don't take offense to it. But
oh no, it's like Jason getting acid thrown in his face. No. Almost. You know what's weird is that right there is Karg just said, "Take her alive." Blade just almost tried to kill her twice.
I take it as those were stun darts. Like clearly, it looks like it would have killed.
Those are pretty heavy for stun darts.
They'll stun the fuck out of her. They went into that metal door.
Well, that along with the fact that yes, it does look like he's trying to kill her as well, because that's what Blade does. He's a mercenary. He's a guy who takes great. Well, of course, listen to what Anthony has to say, because his thoughts on how he portrays the character is a little bit different than how we perceive. Because I see him as like a guy who enjoys inflicting pain on others, whereas that's kind of not how Anthony decided to portray him. Like, and that's what makes it interesting is that Anthony's logic behind Blade. That's what makes him deadly. It's like he doesn't see what he's doing is, check out the interview. You have to, people. I like how Karg's eyes are covered in shadow there. That makes him look pretty menacing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The fight in the junkyard, to me, that I like this moment when He-Man comes in to save the day. Like, this is.
And you felt like when you were a kid, though. I mean, especially when you were a kid, and you seen this. It was like, yeah, here is He-Man. Now he gets to take out the bad guys, because that's what you want to see. You always want to see your main hero fighting the bad guys, and I was like, oh my God, there's so many of what's he gonna do. So I remember just being antsy. I wanted to see more and more of He-Man do something.
Yeah, this is all pretty exciting. And I think this is one of the things I watched on Nathan's big TV, and he just kind of sat there and fell asleep within like 5 minutes.
I remember that because he was specific. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna come over. I'm bringing the Masters movie. Like, we got to watch it on your big TV, man. It'll be great." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." And then he started playing it, and I think I started like doing something else. I didn't fall asleep. I started just like, I can't remember what it was.
It was anything but actually trying to enjoy this movie, and you could just hear him like farting off to the side because he had no interest in watching this or like. I know
Tyler, we got to
give Tyler shit for this film.
Well, we got to keep a close eye on him during this podcast. You
guys got to understand that at the time
he was uneducated.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that Tyler, when it comes to this film, he would get so excited. I'm just like, calm down. It's gonna be all right. It's like, oh, you gotta see this.
He's not kidding.
And I'm just like, you could just see like just big boner, just like
I was in a tent, man. Like right here. Beastman attacking He-Man. I mean, it's high noon right now here, guys.
Yep, there it is.
I used to get. Oh man.
So
like him being that excited about it, just sort of like turned me off.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. Yeah, cool sword fight.
Yeah.
And he did this a lot in most of his films. Like he would work with the actors in terms of like sword fighting, because you also said that he helped with in Batman Returns, right? With the whip and Catwoman and everything. Yeah.
Indiana Jones with the whip action in The Last Crusade. Roadhouse, obviously.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted in this movie was like this kind of stuff, like him throwing. I wanted to see more muscle fighting and sword fighting, and less of He-Man with that blaster. It's like it was cool. I can understand why he had to use it at times, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted more swords and more strength fighting.
I thought it was a nice touch though, like He-Man with the laser pistol. I thought all of them, like Beastman using one, Sorod and Karg, all having pistols.
I wanted Beastman had that whip though. Yeah, it did. I really wish Beastman had a whip at some point, but you can't get everything.
He's got a sword. Still was it's a prop on him, of course, but seeing Beastman with the sword is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The chat had posed is like, well, you had a big TV. Yeah, it was like a rear projection TV. We're talking like early 2000s. So
it was like it was a big. Yeah, it was a big wide TV, but it was a big tube TV. But
it was a rear projection widescreen TV. But and this was a couple years right before we had all the other like lighter, smaller, but still really great TVs that came out. A little late to the party on that one.
I remember when we got a 32-inch TV, I felt like we were like the coolest people in the world. I was like, that's a 32-inch TV, baby.
No, I was like that too when my parents upgraded from the floor model, like the wooden floor model TV. We got like I think it was a 40-inch TV. I remember they got Space Jam on VHS, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, it looks incredible. Everything's like so much bigger. Kids today will never know.
No.
Here's also another thing. Yeah. I miss like record stores because we used to have a couple of those, and everything's just gone now. No video stores, no record stores, no nothing.
Yeah, and weren't we going to get And Tyler, we were supposed to get like at least a kid version.
There was a prototype. It had like the actual forks, that would actually expand out, and you could hold on to it. It had like the tone buttons on there and everything. And I mean, for a prop that didn't have the right colors, but it looked pretty damn good. If you go to He-Man.org, if you have never seen the prototype of the Cosmic Key, it's a shame we never did get it. And why Mattel insists on depriving us of that all these years.
I bet there's probably someone on Etsy or somewhere else that had Joe. I mean, why not make one?
Oh, I mean, it would be cool, but it's always great to have
official.
Official things would always be better to me. But I just remembered being so obsessed on. I wanted, like, now that I knew He-Man was on Earth, of course we had a lot of other good guys and bad guys. I was obsessed on other Earthlings seeing him. Like, for me, I thought it was like they're gonna meet my hero or see this guy that's super strong. It's weird how you could just start thinking back about when you first seen this as a kid, what you wanted to see, and it, of course, everybody didn't get to see like how I was thinking, but I thought it would have been fascinating to see all these characters from another different universe.
Here's Nathan all pissed off smacking balloons here in just a second. Yeah, that's Nathan.
Yep.
I would hit those balloons way harder than that. He's a wimp.
Yeah, there's that poor guy. Got the piss beat out of him.
Yeah.
See, if I was there right now, I would be like kind of worried, but I would be like, hey man, does this mean we're not gonna like have school next week?
That would probably.
I mean, that'd be great. I mean, I just want to because it'd be great if I could just plan to sleep in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, there he is. There's
Lubick.
He's a
Nathan came close to meeting him. He was supposed to come to Mad Monster, and he no-showed or had to cancel.
Yeah. Well, he had to cancel, which would have been cool. My first experience with him was with Problem Child.
Really?
That was next.
Yeah.
For me. I didn't see Back to the Future until many years later. So this, then Problem Child 2. Problem Child 2, yeah.
Well, yeah, it may have been Back to the Future, but Problem Child always stuck out to me more in a way, because I guess I just watched Problem Child more as a kid.
I wonder if they'll ever try to make a figure of him. I'd love one. I'd be curious, people in the chat room, if this is a figure they'd like to see, or if they think wouldn't want him. But I'd love a damn Lubick figure. I think he'd be cool as hell.
I think he's universally desired by most people. Like outside, like the random guy who likes to come and piss on hush puppies. I think if Super 7 was to reveal like a Lubick figure without James Tolkien's likeness, but something relatively close. I think people would be pretty stoked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not be? I mean, he's a very memorable part of this film, and I like to think of him as part of the mythology. Because
Sure.
in my own personal mythology, I incorporate all the events in this film, the characters, everything, into what I see around me and various canons. Like this is canon for me. This film, the events of what happened in this film, the characters, everything. I would probably just pull back Sauron being killed because I want to keep him alive.
Sure.
No, it's Christine. Wait, no,
Yeah.
oh, never mind.
I just love Billy Barty's performance and working so well underneath that makeup. You know, I mean, when you see him in behind the scenes pictures, there's one shot of him drinking a Diet Coke or something with a straw,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so the makeup is so big on him because he's not
if they were to do this now, he would probably definitely just be a CG character. And it's
Which
a shame.
I would like.
We always go back to this all the time on these.
And this is a low budget
podcasts.
film, and they still go with makeup.
But that's the thing, actual props, just don't throw everything in a computer. It can speak for
CG
itself.
for some,
yes,
for some characters and things, sure, but not all, because I would
practical
still like
effects is the way to go.
Yes, yeah, I wouldn't want Gwildor to be CG.
It looks real because it is real.
And moments like this too, you don't see too much. Or too many moments like this throughout the film. So it's nice to have this brief moment of them talking about the situation, but it's such a high level of intimacy. And then we're back to Skeletor doing what he does best here, but it's cool to get a little bit of in-depth perception on their relationship from what we all kind of teased about. And this unfortunate scene here. This just reeks of badass.
Mm-hmm.
It is that hole. God, he says that's so cool.
I honestly feel like out of this group, at least to me, and I know Tyler's going to be like, what? I feel like Beastman should be the one that should have went.
Oh, no. He grovels.
That would have been, I mean, Actually, technically it should be Karg. Karg is leading the group. So if Karg's in charge of the group, he ought to be the one that gets killed. But
that's a bummer too.
Yeah,
Sauron knew it was coming.
Because honestly, Sauron to me is the most impressive looking out of that lineup. You know?
That was a hell of a look. Yes, he did have quite a unique look. And look at Beastman groveling. Yeah. No, if anybody, just anybody but Sauron. Damn it. I wouldn't have wanted any of them to die, but like I said, it's something Tyler. Yeah.
But I think
we brought it up before.
It's an important thing, I think, to have Skeletor kill off one of his own men, to have Skeletor kill. I think it's important that we got one scene depicting just this guy is not talk. It ups the ante for what you see in Filmation and the books and many comics and things like that too. No, he will actually follow through with what he says. You need to see.
Yeah, there's a price for failure. It's almost like we said. We assume this is something that has probably happened before. Just how when they walked up and when they kneeled, they all had to look like, oh God.
They know what's coming. This.
Yeah, they knew. Right, and so that's why I still think Sauron was like, I better get this gun quick because I have a feeling he's gonna get me. But Skeletor got him. But
which me and Joe had talked about before, kind of leads you to believe Skeletor's words probably don't fail that often. You all know the penalty for failure, which kind of makes me feel like his warriors have got a pretty good track record of victory. Outside of, in Filmation, the villains always lose, but you'd like to think that based on that statement that, the idea that this confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, I'm like, why is she calling her house? Is she? I mean, I guess sort of smart because maybe in her mind she's like, well, that's the first place they would go and look for me. But it doesn't.
Kevin, that's what confused me. Is I've been really worried about Joe. What the hell is he doing here? Yeah, that is Joe. I had no understanding of him trying to keep things quiet in front of Lubick as a kid. I always thought Lubbock kind of reminded me of my pawpaw, especially his laugh.
Yeah, here's another thing. It's like phone booths.
Yeah.
And actual like pay telephones. Man.
I still see pay telephones, but not a phone booth. But yeah, there's still pay telephones.
Really? I have not seen a pay telephone in years.
I'll take a picture with my old my camera. I have like
with
a
his,
little
with his Kodak camera.
Exactly. I'll use my Polaroid to take a picture of the phone.
Well, well, Joe, is the Kodak camera like? Is that one of the ones that you can take underwater? One of those disposable cameras.
Oh,
Joe's going to the pool,
is,
not looking to sneaky peeks at bikini bottoms, but hey, man, they dropped a hot dog in here.
Hot damn! No, it's about 10 years old, but it still works good. It's a nice little camera. You got to put one of those SD cards in it still, or whatever, or something.
Man, dude, it's honestly, it's genuinely weird to think that like these things can do so much that we had just separate things for many years ago. It's nuts to think about that.
Yeah.
Joe,
I can't believe you still got
for pizza and restroom. So I'm just curious, like, it's just, there's no pizza around that junkyard, man.
Well, where are these payphones, Joe? Are they like at actual locations, or are they just like standalone?
Inside one of the stores I go to where I grocery shop, they're in there. It says you're coming in the one entrance. Yeah, I'll get I thought that was a cool device.
So Parts Unknown is just stuck like 40 years ago.
A little bit like that. But quickly, that is a cool ass little device.
Yeah,
I like that how it showed what.
Brilliant as a kid. That was so
cool.
All
they
the
make an Evelyn.
What's that?
She should come with that. I was gonna say if they ever make an Evelyn figure or any of this, I'd love to see that little attachment.
Yeah, she definitely needs to come with that. And I just love it. It's like, it makes me think of like Alien, like when Ron Cobb designed like the interior of the Nostromo. Like it's like all the buttons have a purpose. Like, everything you see has a purpose. Like all these gadgets you see in this movie, for the low budget that they had, they came up with some pretty cool looking props for the cast to use. You know, like what the robot troops here talking about the jamming the signal, like looking at that, like it's just all these fun little gadgets and gizmos that the characters are using throughout. He-Man's little tracking device, you know, or like when Man at Arms is like the tracking device that Man at Arms has at the beginning of it, when they see the cow, they'll be completely talked over. See, that's why I have to do like a second, third, fourth commentary for this film. There's so much that we're talking about.
I'm sure the chat will just be like, "Oh my god, again? Why?"
Not again. Then we'll have like 10 views, and that's when they say we jumped the shark.
I had a little issue with my microwave just yesterday. I put some I took
in there.
Well, I didn't know there was a crumb. I took you get frosting, and you take off that little metal lid, that that kind of like foilish lid. But there was one crumb of foil that must have been stuck as I was trying to heat up that frosting, and it went zzz, zzz, and I was like, oh shit! And I popped it open, but 3 seconds, you've seen all this lightning going in there.
Why were you microwaving frosting?
Well, it's chocolate frosting. I microwave it, then I like to take a spoon and eat it right out of there when it's hot and warm and gooey. So.
Joe's diet is like a 5-year-old boy let loose in the kitchen. You know? I mean, imagine everything Joe wears aside. That's why he wears the scarf. He's got mustard, ketchup, and chocolate stains all over his clothing. Why? He probably got wet pants because all his pants have got crusty and crunchy and chocolate stains all over.
It's like, Joe, what's that on your shirt? Is that like the Mount Rushmore of horror? No, that's actually just ketchup and mustard.
Or he wipes it. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He starts licking it, you know.
Oh,
saving this for later anyway. Joe, you should just grow like a big beard. That way all that food gets stuck in there, and then you can like just pick it out like hours later. Like, oh, man, yeah.
He's his own buffet.
Yep. Now that little, a lot of these...
Joe's.
Joe, I'm gonna ask. Like, do you eat the entire?
No, I'm not.
Container of frosting. Wait, no, so you heat it up, you eat it a little bit, and then like what? You put it in the fridge or like what?
Well, no, I don't immediately do that. I let it sit for a while, then I put it back in the fridge. But it's good. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
See a Beastman come in, you can't really see his face, and then slamming Nathan up against the wall here.
I could take him.
Yeah, him being bloodied up made him look even more wicked and sinister. It did. He really looked freaky. Look at that.
You know, when he's doing that, if only Kevin can do the yell from No Holds Barred.
Oh yeah, like
that'd be
the
great.
Zoo shell.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go with Blade.
People, we found Anthony did this without telling Robert Duncan when he was going to slam the knife into the table. So this is all that's legit. That was a legit reaction.
That is cool as shit. I remember he did mention that too. So I'd be flinching too.
So you were alive.
Yeah, no, I know, because that's why I said here comes that moment from Blade, because I remember when we talked to him about that. And yeah, you'd probably have a real reaction, like, I'm thinking, what the hell? He did it with ease, though. It just shows his control that he has over all the weapons. He's a great weapons master. Yeah, even in real life. The guy knows what he's doing.
I always loved how his scar went really far up his face. Like, it wasn't just the eye. Like, it was like a long slash across his eye, like, He-Man's power sword just slashing him right across the face. Something that me and Carson had planned on writing, and I have started writing, but it's been hard to pull off a story that I'm like, okay, I have like multiple ideas for it, but hopefully we'll get to see that come to fruition.
And another damn device here. This is what I mean. Look at the amount of things they put in this movie. They did create a lot of stuff. You definitely gotta give them respect on that.
You hear me, Val Staples? You saying it's an okay sci-fi movie. I'm calling you out on that one.
I'm surprised that you didn't do that when he said it, really.
Because I'm like...
You sort of backed off. You're like, all right, okay. What would you have done if he was like, yeah, you know what, Chris Pratt and blah, blah, blah? You'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess.
Well,
and then, like, a couple weeks later...
I'm like, all right, ring the bell. I'm sure he'll catch this. So when we have him back, he'll have to defend himself on this one. And remember, he knocked something about Predator years ago on Royal Scribble, too. I still got to have it out about that one, too.
Now, the miniature that they had of this big ship that they're showing here, which, of course, we'll see again later in a different part, did they say who owned that? Because I know they showed multiple pictures. I just thought it was distinctly in somebody's collection. Do you know,
I'm sure
Tyler,
that it probably is, because I've seen shots of the actual model itself.
Yeah.
With the figures in it. But I've seen, like, somebody in Germany, I think, owns, like, Franklin Gill's God outfit. It's hard to say, who owns what. I've seen what the owner.
I have some of the gold gloves in back of me. They're not the ones that he wore in that scene, but they had different parts of gloves that they were, offset, onset. I actually have those, and I have like a certificate of authenticity. It's in.
Well, why didn't you bring them to show them on the show?
Here they are. They're right here.
But yeah, I have at least part of that, but nothing super amazing. But
he goes like reach for it. It's like, oh, whoa, here's like crusty corn dog from 3 months ago. Oh, awesome!
Grabbing like a pair of nasty isotoners or something like that.
Because I always thought, man, how cool would it have been if like almost everybody that worked on the movie got to keep their outfit? Yeah. But we know that didn't happen. But it's like, damn, I just would love to have had that stuff.
I am glad though that this film at the time was dismissed by a lot of the public, but a lot of the costumes and things were preserved. And it's good that some films that just because they're not juggernaut blockbusters, that there are some people that like, you know what, this is a great looking outfit, or this is a great looking prop. I want to keep this.
See, I wouldn't have been that dumb.
Sure.
Yeah. This is typical Monday.
I like how Joe just dismisses that. Like, hey, you're dumb. You would have done that. Sure.
Well, because Joe wouldn't be here. Joe would be like Gwilder sniffing.
Why didn't she? Why didn't she pack that pepper magnet that's on the fridge? Why did she leave that there?
Maybe Kevin gave it to her, and she's like, I'm leaving this guy behind me. I don't need to take anything he gave me.
Well, Gwilder is a thief, man. He's taking clothes and stealing food. This might be me. My God, all the stuff that he does. Well, of course, I've never stole clothes, just food.
Yeah, hey, Joe, how come you're not wearing like a Hawaiian scarf around your neck instead of that plaid thing?
Hey, wouldn't that have been good product placement? Yeah, that would have been nice. Damn it.
You should change it up from wearing the hood and the scarf to like a straw hat and a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And then put like Hawaiian glasses on your Amato mask.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
No, not those. Get the. I had a pair of them. I remember like in the early 90s, it's like the glasses where it's like there's like
lightning bolt one on the side, or no, or what?
Well, it's kind of like you got the circles here, and then there's like points on either end, but like one's like almost like a pinkish flamingo color, and then you got like a yellow, like just the bright '90s colors. I'll have to. Yeah, you should wear those.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, because I kept wanting Lubick to believe, because he didn't know what the heck's going on, and well, eventually he finds out. But
what a commanding presence Dolph has walking into there. It's ready to kick his ass. I'm glad over the years Dolph seems to kind of come around a bit more about this role. I know actors at times, they're like Kevin Bacon was ashamed of Tremors for so long. He has since come around to it. And I'm
what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's twice that he's gotten that. I'm honestly surprised, and maybe they have at some point. But for the people that want to slam the movie, if they haven't just taken those two clips, it's like, what the hell is that? And they're like, exactly, what the hell was that? That's not Orko. He's not in this. Here's the top 10 reasons why.
Yeah,
this movie failed.
Heard it already. Here are my top 10 reasons why Battle Cat and Orko weren't in this film.
I like it. I like his reactions though, because that would be anybody. Who would expect anything from another world, a dimension, these crazy, artifacts, creatures? But yeah, I picture the first time you seen Gwildor, yeah, you would be saying, "What the hell is that?" When he sees more later, it's like I like that. I just, like I said, I like that feel. I always thought it'd be great if they came here, but oh man, look at just all of that. Look at all the outfits, like you said, just for the soldiers there. It's like that's quite a bit that they made. They did put so much into that, and yeah, it shouldn't get as much flack as it does. And it's not, like I said, it's not getting as much as it used to. We've said that. I've seen a lot of people come along, and hell, look at the demand for those damn figures that are coming out. So I think more and more love's coming to this movie, which like I said, rightfully so.
I would like to think that we're responsible for that. That we single-handedly, have changed the world. And then when we get that inevitable interview with Barbara Walters on 2020, and she's asking us about, how does it feel to have created this renaissance for this amazing masterpiece from 1987?
And then Tyler starts to talk, and immediately Joe and I are blown out of frame because his head and ego just take over the entire room.
And then she emphasizes this was real, people. This was not a stage act. His head really did blow up.
Well, Tyler, I'll ask you this, because some people come around to this film, and if they come around to it but appreciate it in a way in their eyes that to them it's cheesy but it's fun and they enjoy it, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with it. I just want people to understand, look, this movie gives us the basics of what we want in a He-Man film. When people want to knock the film because it takes place on Earth and things like that, and I'm saying, okay, look, it's due to budget reasons. All right. So when you see films that are made today based on these properties that we grew up with, and they're making mistakes that, look, you guys have got a budget. You shouldn't be making these shitty mistakes and these goofy ass, plot holes and shitty dialogue and stuff like that. If anything, you learn from the past. But these guys, and this is why I give this movie so much credit, for a movie that was under constant scrutiny from beginning to end, for the most part, in terms of what Mattel wanted, what they didn't want, what Canon was like saying, no, we can't afford this, can't do this, pull the plug. The movie gives us so much because, Gary Goddard didn't want to look like, a Canon film, and he was very successful in doing that. You've got good actors. You've got great costumes. Richard Edlund's special effects crew did great. William Stout's designs on the sets and everything. A lot of people really wanted to give us a good movie on a low budget.
That's what I was going to say. Like, when you really tend to break this down, now I love Canon films, but when you really look at it, when you see that they were the ones that were going to make the film, you got to be like, okay, because honestly, Canon is nowadays the landscape of films is completely different. It's mostly just major studios. Back then, you had your major studios, but you had a lot of these guys that were just sort of bit players at the table. They only had so much they could offer. You look at this, you look at Roger Corman's New World Pictures. When you see that logo, you kind of know what to expect. So for people to realize Canon was in charge of this and to see the final product, I don't see really why you can complain, because when I think of Canon, I think, like low budget, not a lot of money, you know? Like, had it been in any other hands at the time with more money, we probably would have gotten something different for sure. But because this is who had it, for whatever reason, and that's still kind of amazing to me that as hot as this property was, Canon was the one that's like, oh, okay, yeah. So props to them for being able to smooth talk to get the license to do this. But I just don't understand. It would be like, what is a studio that's around today that's like infamous for just sort of putting out like not great movies?
Anything from the Sci-Fi Channel. Like all
you know, it's like if you saw that nowadays, we'd be like, I don't know. So,
people will praise those like Sharknado thing. Like, no, that's just shit. I don't want to watch this film.
Right.
Like, I don't care if they know it's bad. Like, that's not fun bad. You know, that's why I just feel like you stop it. Like, of course, the big Freddy Krueger moment coming up here, but if people stop and understand, like Richard Ellis Group, they're the ones behind Ghostbusters special effects. Big Trouble in Little China. William Stout, you know, was a wonderful set designer on this. A lot of great, what's the word? The ingredients for this film. Put them all together in this stew, and you have a wonderful meal that people just look at it, I guess, immediately. Ooh, this looks terrible. I'm going to try that. And it's nailed like, wait a second here. You don't understand what's in this.
I like how this shot right here is just like just slightly tilted, you know?
It's perfect. I love it with Evelyn. That's what I mean. They really nailed her character because this is something, as we know, she has done this type of stuff before. So to see her doing this in the movie was great. And Tyler, how you were referring to another movie, this always gave me a thought of, well, of course, The Shining, how I always say that. Remember? The hot woman that turned into that old woman, but
I feel like that's happened to Joe before. Like somehow he was drunk. I don't know how.
Joe's got nothing but scars. Like Joe's whole life is one big scar. You know, just.
Can someone Photoshop us sitting on the orca when they're telling their stories? Someone should do that. And Jaws.
What now?
And Jaws when they're all sitting on the orca down there, like orca, telling the stories.
On the orca. What are you?
I thought he said orca. I thought he said
no on the orca.
Yeah. Oh, because I thought you said Orko too, and I was like, huh? And then Tyler said, huh?
Yeah, we're all sitting on Orko.
Joe is definitely Quint. Nathan's Hooper, and I'm Brody for sure.
I like how Tyler's just like, you know what? I'm the main here. I'm the main guy.
Well, if you guys are going to label me the guy with the big head, I have to be the star. I have to be the, even though Joe is like the Robert Shaw, he's got the more credentials. He's more well known. He will die in the film. Nathan will survive.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and hey, your fate is being eaten. You know, you are what you eat. You know, here's the Freddy Krueger.
Here we go.
Oh God,
damn it!
Ah,
gotcha.
Oh, I was scared about that as a kid. That was genuinely creepy to me as a child.
Yeah.
Which is thank you, my darling. Oh.
She just ruined it. There it went.
I missed the days when I really thought this film was like 3 hours long. Like this film, I mean, we're moving along with this film pretty fast, but as a child, like the assault in the record store, like that seemed like that was a way deep into the movie as a kid. Like, man, there's just so much stuff going on in this movie, and I just kind of missed that time when you had no perception of time, and movies like this that were seen. That are really not that long, seemed like they were really, really long adventures that you're watching. And it was great.
I'd still give it to it, though, for being over an hour and 40 minutes. That was still kind of long for back then, because we know a lot of movies would go hour and 20, maybe hour 30 was sometimes the top. So this did have some good length.
Yeah, I mean, hell, Predator's under 2 hours. Ghostbusters is just around the 2 hour mark, if not under it, which goes to show you don't need a 3 hour damn film to tell a good story here, people. To anybody who's releasing a film that happens to be 3 hours long with constant jokes about going to the bathroom and taking a piss left and right.
It always comes back to Tyler and just being mad about like Marvel movies and everything.
Yep.
It infuriates me. I used to laugh at me and my brother used to laugh. Please, nobody move! And he just ducks really quick.
I actually thought he was dead. When I first seen this, I thought they killed Lubick there. I didn't know. I was like, oh, good, there, he's alive. Because that was something that caught me off guard. But I like that he's going to need some backup. I like he's scared, though. He'll take some people on.
It's an invasion, man. Like, yeah, I just love his demeanor. Oh, yeah. Calling Skeletor. This was another scene that made me nervous, too, when the portal opens up and they're walking right into the street here. The music's building. Oh, boy. Yep. I would get... I had a lot of quiet... I mean, like, when I say this stuff, like, I'm watching it quietly, not making a sound, but internally, like, I'm going through a lot of emotions. I would get very nervous during this point here.
Mm.
And I just love the special effects of the Cosmic Key portals. Like, they look wonderful. And then blend so well with the troops coming out of the portal. Like, it just... all that. God, it looks great. Bill Conti's score, man. I get so pissed when people want to say, it's copying Star Wars and Superman. Like, I don't see it, people. And it ain't just because I saw this movie first. I'm not going to say everything's copying Star Wars and Superman. It's like everyone's go-to is like, oh, this movie copied this. It's like everyone's just so damn narrow-minded. It all comes back to Star Wars. It ain't always about Star Wars.
I'm just going to sit here and laugh at you.
That's what you do best.
I love it. I just love seeing Skeletor popping up on Earth.
I love the Cobra's on his throne there, man. That's badass. Hell,
that just part right there could make a badass throne itself.
It really could. That whole barge itself with the three I don't know what you call them.
You know what? That is another thing. It would be nice to actually, in all lines, to get more figures that actually come with a piece. Like if you were to get a movie Skeletor, for him to just sort of maybe just come with that throne and like the backing behind him. Nowadays, it's like the build a bullshit thing. You got to buy one. You got to buy the entire wave so you can build like one other thing off the. I'm like, why?
Yeah, so they can ensure you buy like the one.
Yeah, I don't want 3 out of these 5 that are in this wave. Oh, but I do want the thing that if you buy them all, you can build it. I hate that.
And that's why they do it, because they know there's some characters won't sell as well, but they figured this is the only way they'll buy it. Yeah, but, I mean, it's a strategy. They've been doing it for God how many years now, and well, I guess it works.
You could take that build a bullshit, shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
That's the Tyler impression. Anytime I'm like, oh yeah, that's me doing Tyler. That sounded terrible. I didn't mean it that way.
That's all. No offense there.
See, they had to make expendable things. Like I said, we ain't going to be seeing human beings or creatures probably getting killed all the time, except Sorod getting zapped by Skeletor. So yeah, you had to create these kind of.
Well, I think that's always a good way to go about it too. And it's also another way, like...
we really don't need to see He-Man kill things. We need to see He-Man kicking people's asses, though. Like, this whole idea of a Mattel rep saying, like, well, he can't hurt anybody. Like, well, you do watch Filmation. Like, He-Man does beat up robots and smack around some of Skeletor's wars on occasion. He's got to have physical contact with somebody. So that's why that's something I would love to know more in depth about what Mattel is saying. Like, well, you got the evil warriors and Skeletor. Are they not supposed to sword fight or... shoot at each other? What do you want them to do? Like, and
it's what we said before, too. Have that good balance to where, okay, not over-the-top death and blood and gore every single damn comic or something nuts or main established characters getting killed, but then also not too soft and, sweet to where nothing's bad. You got to have a good in-between. You got to have that middle ground. You can still have some kind of violence, blood, battle scars, something. Well,
this was always another issue too, right? With He-Man having a blaster, a lot of people were up in arms about that as well.
Fans, I think that's like due to the internet. I don't know what people thought when they first saw it as a kid, He-Man with the blaster, because the sword is used prominently in the film. He's not given a battle axe or shield. I think giving him a pistol and a knife that he uses in the film, like I think it works well within the movie. That's why I'm not saying everything's got to be verbatim, because I'm not going to use just Filmation as my strict, visual idea of what He-Man and the Master of the Universe should look like. This movie is like a great what's the word? It's well, if you're going to make some changes but keep the basics of what the characters look like, they do it right in this film. Like Skeletor's got the skull face, he's got the Havoc staff, cloak over his head. He-Man's got the blonde hair, the sword, the power harness, the loincloth, boots.
And you're right. We can understand it when He-Man is using a blaster. For the times he uses it, it makes sense. But of course, then there's a time when it's the face-to-face battles with the swords or just using his strength. That makes sense too. I mean, hell, and it's not like it'd be the first time we've seen something like that, because remember the amazing, great Larry Houston gave us He-Man using a laser blaster in Clash of Arms right at the end. Didn't even have a sword. So we've seen it before.
Seeing shots like this coming through the streets, and I know some people say, well, there's nobody in the streets. Like, well, it's not important.
Well, I mean, it's also like 2:00 in the morning, probably, so there wouldn't be anybody out there.
And it's just one of those things. Look, if you're focused on that stuff, then you're not focused on this movie, and get the hell out of here. You know?
Well, I mean, it's not like it's. Well, it's not downtown Manhattan.
It has no importance to the story that if the store owner who's running the jewelry store, by God, what's going on out here? Like, we don't need to see that stuff. It has no relevance to this story that we're being told here.
This shot right here is really cool.
Oh,
God. Yeah. It's just like slowly rising up and behind everybody. That's
just to shock the hell out of them that I found you all. Yeah. And just effortlessly puts up the field. Oh, it's, His Frank's body language is just, God, he's so charismatic. You know, he snaps, the way he snaps his gestures or slowly like moves his fingers, like he just relishes this evil intensity that can be real slow or real snappy. I mean, it's snake-like presence. You know, you don't know when he's going to strike. And I love how he smiles with the makeup. That's why I'm so glad he's wearing this, because when he smiles, God, it's so devilish.
Oh, that's what I said. That's what I mean. You could get all that kind of like, emotions being shown just through that, and you wouldn't have got it if it would just been a bone, mask, face, whatever else, if they would did back then. So thank God they didn't do that. This does work so much better. Man, I didn't realize how many of those damn, troopers are in this. That's what I meant. That's a lot of costumes, damn it.
Well, and I'm sure they do a good job of shooting it from different angles to really build up the idea that there's a whole fleet, a whole army.
Still looks like quite
troops. I mean, there are
like that shot.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
And because you see quite a few of them in the Grayskull throne room as well. But and I love the look of them too. Like, that's something I hate when people say they look like stormtroopers.
They have a lot more detail in a stormtrooper. Think about that. There's more details on those costume designs than a stormtrooper.
Yeah, there are.
I'll get them. Yeah, we get side by side comparisons.
Too. I don't care how pissed the troops in this movie, they beat the stormtroopers. I love stormtroopers.
I love them too. They're iconic. They're known. Yes, and we could definitely establish
these troops beat the hell out of anything Star Wars has to offer. You hear that, people?
A lot.
I am not afraid to admit that.
What is it with you and like the whole like? You hear that, people? Listen to this, people.
Yeah.
You know what, people?
Yeah. Because I'm fighting the consensus that people are always.
There we go.
You know what? I will say this: these visually, I feel like these guys are superior to stormtroopers. I feel like they can probably shoot a little bit better.
Yeah.
There we go. But look at that's what I mean. Their designs on that outfit. There's so much more details in it.
And they took down He-Man.
Yeah.
This was like the cartoon to me. It's like boom, taking them all out. I like that.
And this face off here, like they have Frank and Dolph have some great moments, even though we don't see too many of them in the same shot together. But their face offs here, like this is great. I mean, Frank is so commanding here, and Dolph does such a great job of just being what we all feel He-Man should be.
I never had an issue with his voice. I thought a lot of people said they didn't like his voice. I didn't think I really heard an accent. Maybe it's just me because I
morons.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I never heard it. I was like, I didn't think there was a bad.
Well, I mean, he honestly doesn't even really say that much in the movie.
And when he speaks, it's fine. But you're right. But when he speaks, I didn't have an issue with that.
No, I never did either. As a kid too, like you're not aware of the entire English language. So those words, I don't know what he just said. There was things that Man at Arms said I didn't know what he was talking about. It wasn't just
like what?
Everybody. I'm trying to remember, but there are certain words that in this film, like I'm trying to remember what some scenes were, but like there are words that I don't know what that means. Like I don't know what they're trying to say there. But I mean, some of Dolph's dialogue, as a child, did confuse me a bit, but not so much. Where I'm like, man, he does. That's terrible. I was like, no, not at all.
I just like that when he said, "Just let them rot."
Yeah, let them rot. Yeah.
Where were the filming locations for this?
In Pasadena, California. That's where like the neighborhood stuff was shot at. At Boss Film. I think that's the name of the and I think the Warner Brothers oh God. Shit. Damn it, man.
Here we have expert Tyler Baker.
If
Watch the movie 7 billion times.
He's gonna be so disappointed in me for like goofing this information here. Damn it. But California, it wasn't like they went over to England or anything like that. It was filmed like in Los Angeles. Vasquez Rocks was it where they filmed like the exteriors of Eternia out, like the opening battles and stuff like that.
Do you know how many times is poor Julie going to be covered?
And I think they did use two sound stages at Warner Brothers to film the interior of Castle Grayskull. I believe that's where that was filmed.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think the He-Man's robe, it seems like it was designed just to cover up Julie most of the times in this movie. It's like,
well, it shows you how tiny Courtney Cox is compared to Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
But if I am wrong for anybody who knows this right off, and I apologize, I take great pride in my stuff, and I'm not ashamed to admit if I goof a mistake or something like that. So if I goof.
So damn gross.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, that's gross, yeah.
As a kid, I was like, ugh, I couldn't even believe they showed that. I was like, man.
Cut her leg off.
Really? It's like, I was
what if that
leg?
Joe, what if it took that twist where it like went all reanimated or something? It's like, oh well, we got to cut off the leg, and then it's like this really gruesome blood and pus. And
what a twist! Yes,
everywhere.
Panorama pulls out his knife and starts cutting it away. Right.
Yeah.
And then he gives her like a Roboto a leg or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And this is a good emotional moment here with Nathan getting all
I would
worried and stuff.
I wouldn't cry.
Oh, I forgot. We were getting so invested in the movie, I forgot we were quiet because those who listening, like, what would happen?
We talked during the vast majority of this over important parts, because, you guys had to steal my thunder.
Whatever.
That's why there will be another commentary here.
No,
if you don't like what they have to say, we will be revisiting.
You know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll let you just watch the movie by yourself. I'll be like, and go. And then Joe won't be here. I'll just mute the mic, turn the video off, and you can just
talk. And I can't see the chat room, so people saying, "Shout out, you suck, man." I'm like,
yeah, probably. And all the power to him. I'll probably be in the chat room as well. Yeah, he really does suck, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then Joe's in there. Hey, you gonna do any video game streaming tonight?
Yeah. Possibly. I've said that like 7 weeks.
And then he leaves the chat room. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Is the chat room going pretty good with our commentary here, or is everyone just kind of crickets and stuff?
Yeah, no, it's been going. It's going like it always goes.
Cool.
I wonder how much those figures, how many have sold. I hope they had great pre-orders for these movie figures that'll be coming out because I'd love to see more.
That's why you got to get Brian Flynn back on here. We can just ask him straight up.
Yeah, grill him. Let him know because I'm telling you, I'm just looking, like I said, I'm looking at Teela and I'm looking at Man-at-Arms and I'm just like, damn, those would be some awesome figures, as well as other characters we've seen. There's just so many details that I guess every time you look at something, you might pick up something you didn't see before. And
hopefully this summer at San Diego Comic-Con, they'll have some more movie figures, like an amalgam. Like, give us Azrael and Spydra, Evelyn and Beastman, Make it all about me and what I want this year.
Wow.
It's the Tyler wave. Is that?
Yeah, and then they call it, they call it that too, and it's just like, yeah.
What's bigger than a tidal wave? It's like a Tyler wave, and they show all the things that
Yeah, and my hands are like this, like Skeletor.
God, why you gotta make it, Joe? Why you gotta make it worse?
Axel, Kevin, or Carson, get on this. Let's make a poster of me like a big,
no
tidal wave. Yeah,
no, don't do that. I beg of you. I'll give you all the money.
Make it happen.
I will give you all the money in my bank account to not do that.
And have Nathan like underneath it, like wearing like his leather jacket and tie, looking all pissed off and angry and stuff. And then Joe's off to the side eating a bucket of ribs. He doesn't
That's
care.
all I remember doing usually half the time. Yep.
Here we are, man. This from here on out.
This is the reason that Tyler wanted to bring the movie over to watch on my rear projection widescreen television back in 2003.
Yep.
Give us a Pig Boy figure, damn it. That's what we need him to.
And the Sorceress. We need her. I don't care what Joe says about her design.
I mean, it'd still be, I guess, cool figure, but
Sure.
Shut the hell up.
No, I mean, I guess she would be a cool figure. God, I don't like her look. That's terrible. I don't know why.
God, Joe. I feel like hate crime coming on.
Oh, she looks so horrible here. She looks, I mean, earlier I thought she was old. Of course, this is her really looking old, but I was like, I just don't like it.
It was creepy as a kid, and I just love all of this bragging that Skeletor's doing. Just it's like it's relishing, and of course you feel bad for her, but God, his dialogue and his presence and mannerisms here, like they don't make villains like this on screen anymore, and they haven't done it in a long time. To have someone that's this commanding that you just.
She looks like Skeletor. I never realized this. She looks just like Skeletor, except the female version.
Joe.
Damn.
Meanwhile, little kid Tyler's like, "What's destiny?
I wasn't that naive.
What's philosophy?"
I'm gonna do some photoshopping. Oh, here we go.
I love how we talked to Anthony about what he just did there with the power sword. Like he really appreciated that we were that. We took all, just that precise with the things he did on the screen. Now
he can speak with emotions. Yeah, he speaks with just emotions like that. Yeah. Boom.
And his your champion, just how he's presenting He-Man to the Sorceress. Like I just love that he's just rubbing it in. That he is savoring this victory, and this is what makes and Bill Conti's score over this scene. Witness this moment, He-Man.
And I'll let it be known, when he does deliver his speech, I am going to be silent. So if you guys wonder when it gets quiet, that's just damn one of the best speeches in movie history. I love when he does that. So I will be dead quiet when he does that.
When's the last time you watched this kind of final act, Nathan? Was Skeletor really just getting to do what he does best?
The last time I watched this movie was around December, so 3 months ago.
Okay,
4 months ago. I think honestly, I've watched this movie more than I've watched anything else in the last couple of years, because I think this is the third or fourth time I've watched this movie.
I like to think I had a lot to do with it.
Nope. You had nothing to do with it. Nope.
Nathan?
Nope.
You can't lie to me here.
Nope. None of it.
You're lying.
None of it was you. The first time I was like, I'm going to watch this on my DVD. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then it was on Hulu, and I was sitting there one night. I'm like, I'll watch it again. That's fine. Then we got the Blu-ray, and I'm like, let's see what it looks like on Blu-ray. Is it kind of, because with Hulu, sometimes you're streaming stuff. It can be not as crisp as you want it to be.
Blu-ray.
But yeah, you had nothing to do with it. Don't take credit for it.
All right. And this contraption he builds here, as I always thought was pretty. You got like an IV bag up there. What was that, Joe? It was like a mating grunt. Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
No, Joe was like the Tim Allen of synthesizers.
Oh yeah,
he just hears one. Yeah.
God. Well, I remember.
Home Improvement sucked.
Yeah,
that show sucks.
Yeah, I did not watch that show. Not at all. But everybody's got their own taste. But no, that wasn't a thing for me. It was like that Home Improvement. I was like, I'm not feeling that show. Did you guys have any kind of synthesizers like that? Everybody I knew had some damn little thing, some small one, and
yeah, I had like a keyboard. Yeah, as a kid, I got for like my sixth or fifth Christmas or something like that.
My parents had one, and I messed around with that for a little bit. I remember vividly having that and having like the record player and like the Alf Burger King Happy Meal plushie. And my mom had the Ghost soundtrack on cassette tape. Weird times.
This is the greatest speech that's ever been given in cinema, people.
Is this the part where we all get quiet?
This is the beginning of it here when he says the Alpha and the Omega, and then when he comes back, it cuts back to him as the holosphere, like this.
I just looked at how he's looking here too.
So this is magic. This is movie magic, people. I don't even have the sound on it. God, it's just amazing. Yeah, when we cut back here, Nathan, this is what this is what every growing boy needs to see. This is what will make you a man's watching.
Yeah, keep the schmuck cops back. Keep them. They're not important here. Keep them back, Lubick. You go and you take care of business. And here we go.
Just seeing a shot of Eternity at night, and these troops are still captive. I just think it's a nice touch. Oh man, the boom in his voice. Like to have been on set when Frank is giving this speech.
Here we go.
Yeah,
the eyes are a huge selling point. Those really do sell those scenes.
Yep.
Get ready.
Yeah, and these wonderful effects from Richard Edlund's crew. They really help sell like the power of Grayskull. And Frank, like, just doing this with nothing other than just his mannerisms to help sell all this, shows how committed he was to this role. And smiling here. Oh man, he's so badass. Like Evelyn does not like the sound of that. Dolph being all defiant. I love this speech when I'm in the gym, dude. This will get you motivated to lift some weights.
Boy, that was it, though. Boy, he laid it on. And you're right. Even like you said, when he's saying that, Evelyn was like, "Oh shit! Like what's going on now?"
And here we have it, God Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think as a kid watching this on VHS that his mouth was like flesh tone, like it turned, it wasn't white anymore. That it looked like it was, looked like flesh. I guess because of the lighting.
The lighting with the colors and the gold and everything. Yeah, I can see why they would do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's lucky as a musician, it's somebody that can remember the tones, because I guess Kevin's gonna be worth something now. Play that music, Kevin. Come on, send him home.
I mean, leave it up to me to be able to save the day, right?
Yeah, I mean, Nathan's like Miles Davis.
Well, a little bit. You're gonna be seeing something now, partner. Yep.
More great dialogue. And you see it like the quiet. All you can hear is the torches going in the background.
That's a pretty wicked design with that, the crown, that just giant helmet,
and the bat wings behind it. Yeah,
the bat little wings and a lot of detail. Oh, here we go. Leaning over Skeletor. Here we go. Could you imagine if you got transported like Luke into this place? You'd probably, what the hell? That would be one weird thing to see.
And the attention, like half the car and part of the brick wall got taken. I thought that was a nice, that was cool.
Holy shit, he said.
Man, I can't believe we're already at the finale of the film here, man.
And that would be an awesome little display piece to have if they did release more figures. Could you imagine that as being a little environment piece? I'd love to have that.
That or like a printout of like the Grayskull throne room.
Hell, a lot of pieces. I mean, there could be so many good little standalone display pieces just to have. But I just think that'd be a good little battle scene for them to be in.
When Man-at-Arms is telling Kevin to watch the rear, he's talking about Teela, right?
I was like, oh, yes, sir. I just be crouched down,
I like this.
Yeah.
Nobody takes pot shots at Lubick. Boy, he's taking him out with the old shotgun. There you go, hitting him.
Yeah, no lasers from him. It's all just bullets.
He's going old school, boy. He's like, I'm going to show you some Earth stuff here.
Dolph just beating the hell out of troops with his bare hands.
Yeah, airplane spin F5. No, not really.
F5, what the fuck?
Torture rack.
It was so cool to know those drops where the troops are falling off. Like those were real legit drops.
That's cool.
That were quite far down.
That had to have been fun. I imagine being a stuntman, for the most part, injuries aside, is probably pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I get paid to just like fall off of stuff and jump off of a building? Okay.
I'll do it right now. Maybe just like taking flips and.
No, I don't think I could ever. I kind of have a problem with heights. I don't mind them on roller coasters, but if I were like standing at the edge of something and looking down, I'd probably be too much.
Oh, here's
we get a He-Man moment.
Feat of strength.
Yeah, we finally got to see that He-Man moment. Yeah, I was waiting to see.
Yeah, this excited me a lot as a kid to see this. Yeah, the music helps sell it too.
Yep.
Oh, so cool.
He-Man. I like it. So they're going to get the hell out of here.
Yep. Which is what Evelyn would do.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I always kind of thought in that scene that Tony Carroll, who was playing Beastman, didn't have his teeth in because he kept his face covered up the whole time.
Really? I never paid attention. I'll have to do that later.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of those things where they didn't have his... Yes! Here we are, people. I'm staying silent for this.
Oh, he had to have his moment. There we go.
I feel like that was something that it's like, all right, well, you at least have to have this exact thing in this film. You can change a lot of other things, but you have to have this in the film at some point.
Me as a kid, though, works. I was, and it's great now, but me as a kid, I was so pissed and anal. I was like, why didn't he say by the power of Grayskull? That's what I wanted. But we got what we got, and it was still good. It works. But as a kid, oh, God, I was upset. So just had to throw that in there.
And this was sort of filmed, like this was after the fact, right?
Yeah, and Anthony DeLongis, he's the one that's doing God Skeletor's fight. Correct, Tyler?
He's playing the stunt double, and I think Frank trained to actually do the fight, and because of they pulled the plug, they couldn't finish the fight, so Gary got Dolph and Anthony to come back and do the footage, and then the moment where Skeletor, knocks the power sword out of his hands, and that was filmed even I think later on after that too. So there's, so many. God, the behind the scenes, like that's a movie in itself. Just the making of this film, like there's so much stuff that like that. 15, 20 minutes is not enough. That talks about the conception, execution, and release of this film.
Yeah, you can kind of see like in parts the difference there.
Yeah, because that I believe that was Anthony playing Skeletor right there
Yeah.
too. Yeah, because the face and mask is a bit different. But you got Frank's voice, and
this is where Darth Vader throws down the Emperor. Oh no.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. They copied Star Wars. In fact, the whole damn
No,
movie.
Now you had to get him going again, didn't you?
I did it on purpose because he knows that's what a lot of people said. They're like, "Oh, that was nothing but the Emperor getting thrown down the shaft."
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there were a lot of things like in Batman '89, Joker falls off a building in the same way. Die Hard falling down a long distance. That's just something that they like to do. It's not like a copying thing.
The Emperor falling down the shaft by Darth Vader is not the first time someone takes a big drop in a film. For God's sake, everybody just wants to think that they're so much more intelligent because they think, oh, they copied Star Wars. Well, Star Wars copied Flash Gordon.
Oh, that'd be me, boy. I'd love to be Lubick. Like, forget that. I ain't going back there. Look what I got here. I am staying right here.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's just looking good. I'm gonna have some sex later. I'm staying.
Exactly.
And then Joe's like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah. Where's the food? When do we eat?
Yeah. He's like the kid at Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
When
do we eat?
And he's like, well, I guess goodbye. Gotta say goodbye here. I gotta go home. I got work tomorrow.
I like that extra goldy shine to He-Man's outfit too. I thought it was kind of cool.
I do too.
Yeah.
And this is a genuinely good, like, tender, emotional moment. Like, and the score is really good. Everyone's doing a great job of selling the goodbyes here. It's a nice emotional bow attached to this film. I mean, I like it a lot. And Courtney does a really good job. I mean, she does it, and I don't like her acting now and haven't for a long time, but she does a really good job in this.
Did you like her in Ace Ventura?
Oh yeah, I liked looking at her too.
And you love her especially on Friends. That's one of Tyler's favorite shows of all time. Let that be on the record.
Yes, and I know people like James E. love Friends. I do not, but I will refrain since James has come around to liking the He-Man live action movie. So I will hold back from slamming that show.
I like that Gwildor asking the question and then how they replied. He knew what to do, where to send him. I thought that was kind of cool. He knew it.
Dolph is in fantastic shape. That's why I feel like it's so important because they're going to get some scrawny ass dude who's just slightly in shape and say, "Well, this is He-Man, there, people. Don't be all judgy and PC and stuff, you know." Like He-Man, it's not something to be taken lightly here, people. You can't just say anybody's He-Man because they happen to be in shape. You know. And
listen to this, people. I got the
goods. I could play He-Man. Just don't use you can dub my voice, whatever. I'll go on the craziest, most ridiculous diet plan ever and workout routine. Just give me the role.
I don't want to see that.
Sure you do.
No, I don't.
I'll get you in. I'll get you free tickets and everything.
They'd be like, where did they get this guy that sounds like a hillbilly to play He-Man?
It's supposed to dub over my voice. You get John Orton to come out of retirement and dub my voice.
No. I'll admit, like this is a very touching.
Oh, I like that. It's wonderful. Yeah.
I believe he's a stunt coordinator. The guy playing her father.
No, it's okay on that plane. It's gonna crash. And it's like this was Final Destination.
Mm-hmm.
Devon Sawa.
Yep.
Just get them keys and stuff and get the paper, get the hell out of there. Yeah, I like that. Always, it's something because as a kid who never thought about a second chance or something, or what if you could change something? So, especially something horrible like that to happen, you bet your ass you're going to stop it. Yeah, I like that. I like that they ended it like that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ending.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And then the score, Bill Conti does such a great job of making it so touching. All this. Yeah, this is like... I think in Pasadena right here. It's the same street as Back to the Future was filmed on. Or like
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
I want a prop of the Grayskull Jewel. That's what I want too. That they hold up and you see He-Man in there. Oh God, that blew my mind as a kid.
And get us all a piece of Eternia too. Get us all something like that.
Oh man, this is so exciting that the music's building and building and building. Yep. I like Dave Chappelle in Half Baked, but he gets that big lump of pop.
Yeah. See? There, he could have said by the power of Grayskull too, but well, whatever. But no, great ass movie. Of course, after
you did not know me as a kid, Joe. Man, I'd have been waiting for you on the playground.
Oh man, it anchored me every time. And of course, then after, you know what's funny? I wasn't in those days. You were never really waiting after the credits. It wasn't until years later I found out about that extra little thing at the end where he was like, "I'll be back." I didn't know there was anything extra. It's like right when the credits came, we were the hell out of the theater. So I never knew about till I can't tell you how long later.
Joe's like, these McDonald's coupons have been burning a hole in my pocket. We got to go now.
Get the hell out of here, get my apple pies and
get my apple pie, get my McRib, my fillet of fish.
The great ass movie.
Man.
Yeah, that's it'll be about a lot of minutes until we got to that ending. So, but well, let's see. What did everybody think in the chat room, Nathan? Because I think we hey, look, and Eric Munoz, he just joined us late. Zen Brown, Zentron, Fedbon, Adam Gabbert. God, we've had a ton of people that were here, and tags, animation. Oh, by the way, thanks for that cool intro. Is me with being Modulok and coming to the ring, and that was cool. And Kevin Sharp, thanks for sharing that with me, with me and Tyler coming to the ring. That was cool to see that.
I believe it out of you on this live action film.
Yeah, hopefully for those two. Yeah, it's been a while. I hope that they did love it, and especially anybody in the chat room here or anybody that's just listening through any other Podbeans or anything. Boy, we had so many people.
Any other Podbeans? Like there's multiple Podbeans.
Podbeans, iTunes. You know me, I'm an idiot. But yeah, Podbean, iTunes, all that stuff. But so I know I missed everybody in the chat room. I didn't even see it as we're doing it. But everybody joined us. Thank you.
Keep calm. Don't let your head blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can do the scrolling. So Joe missed all of these people: Zentron, Febmon, scrolling, Zen Brown, Grim 2, Eric Amon. You already said Kevin Sharp, Tags Media Animations. JSP, Adam Gabbert, Brian C. Little, Sportimus.
Get them all?
And Eric Munoz. And you got to think, you got to think too. Game of Thrones is premiering tonight, so I'm gonna be adding HBO onto my Hulu, and I'm gonna check that out tonight as well. So, and
Cobra Kai season 2, when is that again?
That is the 24th.
A week from this Wednesday.
Yeah, we're close. It's gonna be great.
And you know what? I was just thinking, I'm not sure if next Sunday we would be doing it at normal time or a different day, because next Sunday is Easter, I believe, correct?
Yes, next Sunday is Easter. So, that's all up to you guys and what you want to do. I have a 3-day weekend next weekend. I am not going to do anything, so it's going to be great.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I didn't even know how to end the show, because I was going to say, I don't know if we're taking questions or if I just say, Tyler, if
you guys if people want to throw out questions, a few questions, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Let me look. If you do have some questions, shoot us a couple questions. I think I see Zentron just said he had a movie quote. The movie quote is, "Good thing these guys aren't lumberjacks." No joke. The only thing safe in the woods would be the trees.
What would be the trees? TMNT 1990. Finally, he did something that wasn't Mel Brooks from the 70s.
Right. That's when Joe can get some of the old man stuff, is what's in the 70s. That's the only time Tyler usually will shut down and be like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I'll get that old as dirt crap. But
here we go. Got one. Here we go. Here's the Skeletor popping out. I'll be back.
There you go. Still only had a movie since. But let me see. Adam Gabbert said, Fedbon said next Sunday maybe you should do the episode with Plundor for commentary. So
We've already done that one. We've already done that, and nobody turned out to watch it. Like that does sound familiar. Episodes. We did that for Easter Sunday, and it was a bomb episode. We did Meteor's discussion in that one, and nobody watched it.
Well, I mean, when you're talking Plundor Meteorbs, what do you expect?
Yeah. We'll figure out something. Adam Gabbard said, Joe, Tyler, Nathan, what is your favorite movie poster like the one I see behind Tyler's back? 87 Masters Universe poster is his favorite, but what about other ones?
Oh, dude.
Well,
go ahead, Joe.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of the posters that I loved, but I mean, the iconic one that I always say it's so many times from William George, his first giant one, the one that had the unknowns.
No. It froze on Tyler. At least on my end, it froze on Tyler, and he was like this, and he was like,
"Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That's weird." But yeah, the William George poster that featured Sky High when he was not named, because I used to we had it in the basement where we'd shoot pool, and I would just love going downstairs into the basement. You know, when we would shoot pool and just stare at the poster half the time and wonder about that character. But I mean, there's so many. All the ones from Earl Norham and Christ, there's so many great.
Well, he was saying movie posters. As
yeah,
well.
Joe. Yeah, I was like, Joe, what are you doing here?
Oh, I thought he said movie. Oh, okay. Well, Jesus. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what a movie poster is. Where do you see movie posters at?
Well, hey, be honest. I've never collected movie posters, so I don't have one.
No, Joe. They are advertised like at the movie theater or at the VHS, at the movie store. What is the image of a movie that resonates with you? That's what he's trying to ask. Joe.
I'm going to say offhand, The Thing is a fantastic movie poster. Fright Night is an awesome movie poster. There's that thunderstorm that's supposed to be rolling in through here. There's a lot. Nightmare on Elm Street comes to mind. That's a very iconic poster. Jaws, obviously.
How about Batman '89?
Yeah. That one's a good one. I'm kind of thinking in terms too of like movie posters to me that stick out in a way. It's not just like one simple,
like Clash of the Titans by the Hildebrandt brothers. Like that beautiful painting of Andromeda Perseus and Medusa's face in the background with Pegasus there too. Beautiful painting.
The Fly,
painted posters. The Fly's
painted posters like any of the Indiana Jones posters were fantastic.
And posters,
well, something I like is something I know you guys wouldn't have liked the poster for. Maybe you like the movie, but
I was
fascinated. I was fascinated with the Toxic Avenger posters. I always liked the Toxic Avenger posters.
That was a cool poster. So. Yeah.
Okay. But no, thanks for that, Adam, because I completely misunderstood what you asked, but I'm glad Tyler and everybody made me realize what the hell you were saying.
Just like a sea captain taking off. He's got he's blind and he's just driving along and talking.
Just
to himself
going.
There.
It's like I don't give a shit. It's like you. Yeah. So that's that.
Hey, if
let me see.
He's like that sea captain on Rocko's Modern Life. He's got wooden eyes, wooden arms, wooden legs, and he's just talking to himself and takes off without Rocko and Heifer. And he's talking to himself the whole time. That's Joe.
I could see that happening with me.
Yeah.
Brian C. Little did have a movie quote, and it sounds so familiar.
Wait a second here. We are just completely giving away my stick on the show. One was too much. Now two, and Joseph.
It's like everybody.
We'll take on the one here.
Could you picture that, Tyler? Like, okay, and Zen Brown, and
Zen Brown did say the original TMNT poster, hands down. That does give me a lot of memories, just seeing their faces. But that it's always that sky in the background with the buildings and the way it's built.
Yeah,
there's always
with New York.
There's always been something about that just the memories. Like seeing that skyline in that poster always makes me think of just like warm, fuzzy, like happy kid summertime memories.
Well, quickly, Brian sounds familiar, but I can't do it. He says, "What in the wide world of sports is going on here?" I for some reason should know that.
Holy shit!
But I don't. Doesn't that sound very familiar?
It does.
Oh, the thunderstorm must be freaking out your dogs.
Yeah, the thunderstorm.
Okay. Wait, and that does sound like that probably was a Mel Brooks quote. That was I think that was Blazing Saddles. I believe that was Blazing Saddles. So he'll let me know if that's it. Oh, it's weird. It just popped up. Then Zentron said Blazing Saddles, but I swear I said it before you Zentron. But yes, that's Blazing Saddles. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I want to say, everybody, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this because this was a long one. It was something different. I want to tell everybody to make sure that they like, subscribe, ring that bell if you're new to this channel, so you can always be notified when we have new content. And yeah, we'll be here next week with something. We'll figure it out. But until next time, have a powerful day.
Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Mother.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna
Joe,
pass
you're
it
not
to
gonna
Nathan.
know it. Just lower your head. Bury your head in the sand.
That's why I passed it. I passed it to Nathan. Hopefully he'll.
No, you don't put this on me. This is the thing where he's trying to get you to guess it.
I can't.
I'm not trying to stop
don't...
anybody. This was my send off, and everyone decides to steal my thunder because Joe's just like, "Here you go, guys. Hey, you can do one too." I even say your name and everything, and I can't just have my send off and end the podcast. Everyone's gonna stop everything, And then Joe's like, Winnie the Pooh, think.
I like it. It's cutting into his ego. You guys keep it up.
Well, no,
Tyler, huh? I was gonna say, what movie is it from? Help Joe
Jaws.
There
Richard Dreyfuss.
That explains it.
Joe's like, what a piece of shit.
The
shark was so fake.
Oh, Jesus. Excuse me. Gosh, I'm sitting there burping up stuff from earlier. Okay. See you guys next week.